We're back again. This episode, we're talking about perspective and outcome independence. So, what the hell did Joe and Gio have to say about perspective and outcome independence? Here's what we got to say.
Outcome independence and perspective are two factors in what I like to call mindset mastery because they are so crucial, especially positive perspectives, because of how crucial it is to making the art of living more enjoyable than it already is. It's something that has helped me in so many ways. It's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest factor in turning my life around per se. And whenever people seek my counsel on, you know, getting better, putting themselves in a better position in life, that's usually the strongest conversation point that we have to have. That's where we start off usually.
Yeah, so positive perspective, man, like you said, one of the most important and I mean it's a cornerstone in the art of living, to having a satisfying life. It's you know, it's so common sense that we forget how much control we have over um, applying that to our own life. So people forget that we can choose to look at things a different way. We can choose to have a different perspective on things. We can choose to separate ourselves emotionally from a situation and look at it from a different angle to make our living experience better or to make it less painful. And people forget that that's something we can do. Um, it's a lot of things in life, there's a lot of different things that we're gonna, that we talk about on here that we're gonna talk about on here, but positive perspective and a decision to look at things differently and the restraint to do so is it's imperative to making the art of living, like you said, positive and better for someone and reducing negative experiences as well too, or turning negative experiences into positive ones.
Absolutely. Adjusting your perspective is what I like to say the quickest and easiest way to turn a negative into a positive. Like one of the easiest examples I always give people is telling yourself you have to, excuse me, that you get to do things instead of having to. For example, I don't have to go to work, I get to go to work. I don't have to go to the gym, I get to go to the gym. I don't have to eat clean, I get to go clean. I get to eat clean. Remind yourself that's a blessing and not a curse to do so many things that people see as inconveniences. It's all a matter of your self-talk. Even the littlest things. When you have a bad day, don't tell yourself it was a bad day. You just it didn't go the way you anticipated is all. Your
Yeah,
perspective is like your perspective is the way you see the world. The way you see it is also how it's going to be how you feel internally is one the energy that you're going to give out to the world and on top of that it's what's going to come right back to you.
I love that, dude. The definition of perspective that you just gave, it's how you see the world. I got an even simpler definition that people might even understand better because perspective is one of those things that it's like it's hard to get people to understand. So I got a story time. So let's say I'm jerking off in my car, right, in a parking lot, and like someone like looks at me, or like a fucking lady comes by and she's staring at me, fucking jerking off in my car, right? So who
Go on.
actually is the fucking weird one here? The lady staring at me, jerking off, or me getting all fucking riled up and all like caught off guard and all weird about it? Like, oh, my bad, lady. I didn't notice you were there. Like, who is the weird person in this scenario, right? Depends how it plays out. If I fucking stop stroking my dick, and the lady is like, "Oh my God, you fucking creepy weirdo," like I'm the weird one. But if I keep going and the lady stares and she takes out her phone and starts recording me, she's the weird one. So perspective is always that. It's how you process a situation. It's how things happen to you, right? And I think that that's a beautiful way that I've learned what perspective means, man. I think that people can really learn something from that story.
It's certainly a perspective on how to see it.
It's a
I'll
perspective on
be
how to see
I'll be here all
perspective.
night. I'll be here all night. But listen, at the end of the day, yeah, man, it's is it a crazy analogy? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, again, perspective is how you interpret things. It's how you visualize scenarios. Nobody can tell you what to do with your perspective.
Exactly, man. So, how we can use perspective to our advantage in life is by the following example, right? Let's say, um, we make plans and someone cancels. We had plans to hang out with some friends. We had plans with a hot date. We had plans to do something, and all of a sudden it's canceled. If we look at this situation, which sucks. I mean, who doesn't want to go on a hot date? Who doesn't want to go with their buddies to go do whatever they were originally going to do or whatever they plan to do, right? But if you look at the situation that, sucks with a different perspective, a different point of view, without emotional attachment, we can then do what we were going to do anyway. And that's how perspective ties into outcome independence. So, outcome independence is separating emotional attachment to a specific outcome. So in this situation, let's say we had a hot date planned, or we were going to go out with some buddies to go bar hopping, or you and some guy, or you and some girl, we're going to go to a restaurant. You made reservations at a restaurant, then you made some reservations to go bowling, or to go zip lining, or whatever it is. Man, they canceled. Man, my buddies canceled. Man, this chick, this dude canceled. That sucks. But if we look at the situation without emotional attachment and do what we're going to do anyway, we can still choose and make the decision to have a good time. So that in itself, that phenomenon of doing what you were going to do anyway, despite of what happens or however everything played out, that in itself is called outcome independence. Choosing to do what you're going to do anyway and choosing to be happy and not allowing things that didn't go according to plan affect your happiness and your quality of life. That is choosing to look at it from a different perspective to still have a good time and make the decision to be happy.
Absolutely. It's funny you should mention that because it was actually a week ago today um, that I went for the first time ever to a concert by myself,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. I went to see Bad Bunny, who is my favorite artist, and
Hell yeah, man.
I saw I saw that the ticket prices dropped like way back when I bought them. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta get these. Mind you, they were like 4 seats. So when I got there, I was like, he's here, and I'm like right here, right?
Damn.
So I was like, dude, are you kidding? These tickets usually go for like a grand each. So I know how things work. In my almost 30 years of life, I learned that a lot of times people are unreliable, and that's okay. So where I'm getting at is that I booked it, I got my tickets, and I was like, the perspective and the outlook I had was, hey, I'm not gonna invite people. I'm not gonna reach out to people and say, hey, do you want to do this? I did what I was gonna do anyway, and I said, hey, I'm going to my concert. If anyone wants to join, they're welcome to. The outcome doesn't change because person A, person B can or can't be there. The outcome is still the same because Gio is going to see his concert. He's going to have a great time. And that's exactly what happened. It wouldn't have changed if anyone was there with me or if I stayed by myself.
Yo, and Gio, like, can you tell me like how the concert ended up going? Can you explain to me real quick your mindset and what you expected before getting there and then how it actually went?
It was it was different because again, mind you, I've done many things by myself, but I've never been to a concert by myself. Right? And nonetheless, my favorite artist. So I wouldn't say I was nervous. I don't like to say nervous. I like to say excitement, you know? So I was definitely excited because I'm like, oh, great, this is gonna be cool. But there's so many things I was
Anything
thinking
could
about.
happen.
I mean, anything could happen, you know? I got there super early. I was standing on my feet for 5 hours. I had like no food, no water in me. I didn't want to because I wasn't leaving my spot to go to the bathroom. So um, point being, there was so much going on. I was a little nervous, but I was very excited. And how it went at the end of the night, I had the best time ever. I had the best time, easily best concert I ever
Hell
went
yeah.
to. Got my money's worth. Yeah, I paid a bunch of money, which I won't get into, but the experience is priceless.
Hell yeah, man. And you said it yourself, your experience, your happiness, your plan of going wasn't contingent. It didn't depend on person A, B, C, or D, whether they were going to join you or not. You still went through with the original plan, which was going to see Bad Bunny. Yeah, it could have been cool if, A, B, C, or D had joined you, but you still went. And it sounds like it turned out better than you expected.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I tell people always ask me afterwards. They're like, "Oh, how was the concert? You went by yourself. You're so brave." I'm like, "Well, I appreciate the words, but it's not about bravery. It's about simply wanting to do what I want to do, acting, holding myself accountable to make the plans that I want, and not making them based on the availability of others." So again, that's where outcome independence ties into everything.
And I want to call that out, man. Outcome independence is an emotional detachment from a result of anything. Like whatever happens, happens, and you're not emotionally attached to A happening, B happening, C happening, D happening, whatever the outcome is. I mean, you're not gonna be upset or happy dependent on the outcome. You're still gonna have a good time. You're still going to make the decision to be present, be in the moment, and choose to be happy. So that's the importance of perspective and how it ties directly into outcome independence. And I think that a lot of these things, a lot of them are actually common sense, but until someone breaks it down for you, gives you the blueprint of how to apply them and puts them into words that most people can understand and ways people can understand it easier. Um, you kind of like won't really get it and won't be able to apply it as well. It's like a personal trainer, right? Like, you have to go to the gym and work out, but what exactly do you need to do? Like, how much grams of protein do you actually have to eat every day? How often do you actually have to work out a specific muscle group? How often should you not go to the gym? How many rest days do you need in the week? So sometimes we have the answers in front of us, but we just need someone to guide us to them and maybe not hold our hand, but explain things a little bit better so we're capable of doing these things on our own.
It's not a matter of showing people what to see. It's a matter of showing them where to look.
That's it, man.